Right. So that's a good question. When I left NETZ and I went to my commission, I then had to go back through the process of aptitude tests for pilot and for navigator. And I didn't pass I passed most of my aptitude tests for pilot, I have to say. But part of it I couldn't quite get was the dot flying kit and the dot in the middle. It's not computer based as it is today, it's a dot in the middle thing. So I didn't get that. But then I passed the aptitude for navigator, and then they said, we'll offer you navigator. So that's why I ended up down that stream. So having done the commission inside, it was like, before you get commissioned, it's like, well, what branch of officer are you going into? So I went for the flying branch, but I didn't quite get all my aptitude ticks for my pilot. So I ended up on the navigator side, which is why I then went down the stream for navigator, which actually was a good thing in the end, actually, I have to say. So when I finished, graduated from navigator training, so I ended up going on the fast jet side. I graduated and I was sent to the Tornado. So we have a graduation thing, and at the time you could go Phantoms for air defense, and the F2, so laterally the F3, so the F2 as well was just coming out. So you could go Phantoms or F2, you could go Buccaneers, or you could go Tornado GR1, which is a Tornado back in the day. So I wanted to go Phantom, even though I didn't want to go air defense, just because it's a beautiful airplane. No one can deny that. But I was never going to go that because I wasn't going on the air defense side, but I still wanted it. And then there's Buccaneers, and then the Tornado. I ended up going on the Tornado. So I was streamed to go onto the Tornado and GR1 back in the day. So that's how I ended up on the Tornado Force. So then you go through so you finish nav school, you then have a few training courses before you actually even get to the Tornado conversion unit, before you even start that role. So I firstly went to RAF Broady in South Wales onto the Hawk, the tactical weapons unit. So you spend a bit of time flying around in the Hawk, beautiful little airplane, as you know, dropping bombs, firing a gun, and actually learning low-level navigation in a much faster, slicker aircraft. Because you used to do it on the, they'll come back to me, but yeah, for the basic Hawk was slicker and it was quicker. So you flew faster, you flew lower, and so you did navigation at low level around Wales, because Broady was in South Wales. You did weapons, air-to-ground weaponry, so gun firing. You dropped some little bombs as well off that. So that was tactical weapons unit as part of your training. And that was just before you then go onto your Tornado course. So that was sort of leave your nav school, and then off you go to Broady and did that. And then you go to the Tornadoes. So the first Tornado training you go to used to be RAF Cottesmore, and it's a tri-national Tornado training establishment, and is where you had German, Italian, and the Brits. So the three nations that flew Tornadoes in Europe. Germany still flies them today. We all trained at the same base for our initial training. So you did basic training there for the conversion unit. So you convert onto the Tornado. You have a squadron run by the Germans, one by the Italians, and one by the Brits. And legend has it, the Italian squadron always finished early on Friday and drank wine, and the German squadron always finished early on a Friday and drank beer, and the Brits flew on to midnight. So how true that is, probably very true. Sadly, I was on the Brit squadron.